I had always been fascinated by tales of lost cities and ancient civilizations, so when I heard about a rumored lost city deep in the heart of the Amazon rainforest, I knew I had to see it for myself. I spent months researching the legends and gathering a team of experts to accompany me on the journey. Our team consisted of a group of archaeologists, botanists, and explorers, each bringing their unique skills and expertise to the mission. We were led by a seasoned explorer named James, who had spent many years exploring the Amazon and had heard rumors of the lost city from the indigenous people. The journey was long and arduous, as we faced treacherous terrain, hostile indigenous tribes, and dangerous wildlife. We had to cross raging rivers, climb steep mountains, and hack our way through thick jungle foliage. But we were determined, and we pushed on, driven by the promise of discovering something truly extraordinary. As we ventured deeper into the rainforest, we began to uncover clues that led us closer to the lost city. We found ancient artifacts and ruins, evidence of a civilization that had long since vanished. We also encountered strange phenomena, like a patch of forest where the trees were twisted into grotesque shapes and a river that flowed uphill. Despite the challenges, we continued to make progress, until finally we reached a clearing that looked like it had been deliberately carved out of the jungle. In the center of the clearing was a massive stone pyramid covered in vines and moss. We were awestruck. We had found the lost city. As we began to explore the ruins, we discovered that the city was unlike anything we had ever seen before. The architecture was highly advanced, with complex irrigation systems, intricate carvings, and sophisticated stonework. We also found evidence of a highly advanced society with a sophisticated legal system, a highly developed written language, and a strong sense of social order. But as we delved deeper into the city, we began to uncover a darker side. We found evidence of human sacrifice, with gruesome depictions of rituals involving blood and fire. We also discovered that the city had been abandoned suddenly, with no signs of struggle or conflict. Despite the ominous signs, we were all mesmerized by the city's beauty and history. We spent weeks exploring every nook and cranny of the ruins, studying the carvings and deciphering the hieroglyphics. We were like kids in a candy store, marveling at the treasures we had uncovered. One day, as we were exploring a remote part of the city, we stumbled upon a chamber that had been sealed off from the rest of the city. Inside, we found a massive trove of treasure, including gold, jewels, and precious artifacts. It was clear that this was the reason the lost city had been so sought after for centuries. We were ecstatic about our discovery and spent hours cataloging and examining the treasure. But our joy was short-lived, as we suddenly heard the sound of drums in the distance. It was the indigenous tribe that had been rumored to inhabit the area, and they were headed straight for the city. Panic set in as we quickly gathered our belongings and made a run for it, but we were quickly surrounded by the tribespeople. They were armed with spears and machetes, and it was clear they were not happy about our presence in their sacred city. Just when it seemed like all hope was lost, James remembered something he had learned from his time living among the indigenous people, a peaceful gesture that could signify friendship. He held out his hand, palm up, and waited. To our surprise, the tribe's leader mirrored his gesture, and the two groups slowly moved towards each other. James began to speak in the indigenous language, explaining that we were not there to harm them, but rather to learn about the lost city and the ancient civilization that had once thrived there. He showed them the artifacts we had discovered, and the tribe's interest was piqued. Through James's translation, we learned that the tribe had always known about the lost city, but had never ventured inside, believing it to be cursed. They saw us as a sign that it was time to reclaim their history and learn from the past. We spent the next few days sharing our knowledge and expertise with the tribe, teaching them about archaeology, botany, and exploration. In return, they showed us their way of life, their traditions, and their spiritual beliefs. It was a truly transformative experience, as we realized that we had much to learn from each other. The tribe even shared with us a secret legend that had been passed down through generations, a story about how the ancient civilization had disappeared, due to a great cataclysm that had destroyed the land. As we prepared to leave the lost city, we knew that our lives had been forever changed by the experience. We had not only uncovered an incredible piece of history, but we had also forged friendships and learned valuable lessons about respect, humility, and the importance of cultural exchange. As we made our way back to civilization, we knew that we would never forget the lost city and the incredible adventure that had brought us there. And we also knew that we had a responsibility to share our knowledge and respect the history and culture of the indigenous people who had welcomed us with open arms. Looking back on that journey, I still feel a sense of awe and wonder at the incredible discoveries we made and the friendships we forged. And I am forever grateful for the opportunity to have been part of such an extraordinary adventure.